Hi, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Healing with Marcus, to our live here on Monday evenings. My goodness. We are sitting with the Beaver full moon. Thank you, LEK. Greetings and full moon blessings. That's right. That's right. Johnny Neal. Is that better or worse, Johnny? New microphone. Is that good or bad? I am so grateful to be here. Me too, LEK. Me too, LEK. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Johnny, do you think that microphone is, oh, much better? Oh, good. That is interesting because I am using the phone itself. No, no added microphone. And I checked it last week and it seemed to be working much better this way. So that's what I decided to go on with, keep going with. So, oh, good. That's interesting, right? I guess the iPhone built-in microphone is that much better. Welcome on board, everybody. We are here to sit with our full moon blessings. The full moon is, there's going to be one more this year, the 26th of December. But this is the last biggest full moon so far. It's the beginning of the last full moon cycle or moon cycle of this year. Now, it's called the Beaver full moon because this is the time of the year when the beavers are done building their homes and stuff, and they're starting to nest. The same thing and different. These are from the native tribes. Some call them the deer full moon. Some call it the whitefish full moon, because this is the time of the year when the animals are going into rest for the year that's coming, right? For the winter. And in some places they call this moon, the next moon is going to be called the cold moon, but this moon is also going into being the cold moon because the weather is getting chilly in many parts of our world. The moon is bright and beautiful tonight, sierras and sunsets. Absolutely. It's an amazing full moon right now. It's very powerful and very strong. It's the full moon in Gemini, which of course, Gemini is this dual sign of, on one side, we have this beautiful, beautiful, very positive, light-hearted, creative energy. And the other side of the Gemini is more of a shadow side where a lot of hard stuff comes out. And that can be very helpful for all of us to sit with, right? We begin to sit with both our light and our shadows, our darkness. This is a very, very important part of our lives because as human beings, we are full of duality, right? We are full of bothness. We are full of the ability to sit in very, very high frequency, vibration, light, strength, beauty. That's when we are, in that high frequency. But then we have the power that can come from sitting with our shadows as well. Sitting with the darkness, right? And on some levels, when we look at what the shadow represents, we can see that most of us have developed a shadow side as a defense mechanism to survive as we were growing up. So in my case, I grew up in a very volatile environment and we were loud, very, very loud in my family of origin. And in order to function in that family, I had to learn how to be very loud as well and big energy, loud and big. And that becomes a pretty big shadow side. And the interesting thing is that as long as it's only in the shadows and we don't acknowledge it and we don't sit with it and we don't see it, it's going to sort of run our lives in the underneath the surface, in the subconscious. But as you start to see your shadow, if you can admit to yourself, if you can see your shadow, you start to go, oh, it doesn't run my life the same way. And now we can start to use the power that's being contained, right? Because in most of us, when power is being retained or contained in the darker sides of our nature, in the shadow side, we are not gaining access to that power. And when we don't gain access to our full power, we aren't standing in our sovereignty. We are not fully sovereign beings. In a way, the moon, we can look at the moon as this body in heaven, in the sky, that's moving around our planet. And we call it Grandmother Moon, right? It's beautiful, Grandmother Moon. And we know that the love of a grandmother is unmatched. And when we see how sovereign the moon is in its journey, the moon doesn't really rely on anything other than the gravitational field of Earth, but it's hanging around our planet. And it's spinning around us as a very sovereign being, calling us into our sovereignty. It's calling you to see yourself. And when you begin to see yourself we can start to dive into and start to dissect our fears, we can start to look at how driven or run am I by my fears? How much of my decisions in my life, or how many decisions in my life, or how much of my decisions that I make is based in fear? Am I going in this direction because I'm afraid of being disliked, so I'll just follow along? Or am I afraid that the powers to be, which we then refer to either as the matrix, the government, the corporations, aren't going to agree with your choices of lifestyle, so you fall in line? When we start looking at what sovereignty means, and if you can be fortunate enough to go into nature, like Sierras and Sunsets, you have had a lot of time in the outdoors. And I have learned certain beautiful lessons from spending time in the mountains, in the woods, backpacking, hiking, just sitting in nature. As we start to reconnect to nature, right? Interestingly enough, nature starts to teach us things that are very difficult to learn from reading it in a book. Nature is teaching us things. We have insights and we have epiphanies, and we have also energetic shifts that come from spending time in nature. And they really don't come any other way. And it's a beautiful part of this process is when you start spending more time away from our regular society in this, what we could refer to as the 3D matrix. It's really easy to be caught up in all these, I have to do this, musts, all these musts that are everywhere, right? And if you step outside of that and you begin to spend a little more time, we don't have to become excessive. It could be a longer weekend, it could be 2 days in nature, but you will be starting to shift. On an energetic level, you start to have these insights, or I had these insights that, all the rules that we live by in society aren't really truly rules for survival. They're not rules when you move outside of our 3D matrix, when you move outside of the agreements that we have within society. So if you step outside of that and you begin to feel, oh my God, in nature we are sovereign. In nature you are a sovereign being. And yes, we can absolutely band together and work together as a tribe, as a group. Beautiful. But you're still sovereign. In a healthy tribe, in a healthy group, you learn your sovereignty. And as we learn our sovereignty, we grow. And then when we start looking back at society and we look back at the 3D matrix we're in, we can see certain things that are really, truly disruptive for your sovereignty. When I started realizing that you as a human, we are as humans, are most of the time not allowed to go wherever we want. We're not allowed to live wherever we want. We're allowed to stay in place, stay put. But unless you have the right paperwork, and unless you have the right passport, and unless you can prove who you are and that you have a very good past, you're not allowed to travel. You're not allowed to go wherever you choose to go. Just like we're not allowed to pick certain things from Earth Mother. We're not allowed to pick mushrooms out of Earth Mother. We're not allowed, or certain mushrooms. And we're not allowed to take in these things that are growing in Earth Mother. And from that perspective, there's very little sovereignty going on. And I'm not saying that we all need to go out there and become crazy rebels, but we need to feel that strength and power that comes from listening to your inner self, to your higher self. Instead of always constantly getting all our information in the feeds, right? From the news feeds, from the social media, from all of these different streams of information that's coming at us. Find your truth. Come back home. And in this case, when we're sitting with this full moon and this strong energy that's coming in right now, it's amazing how much energy you can gain, and clarity and sovereignty from your inner growth process. And as you start to grow, you start to realize what does it mean with self-respect? And what does it then mean to have respect for others as well? Because we learn boundaries by putting up boundaries for ourselves. Or if we have to set up boundaries for others, we do that, but we still learn about boundaries for ourselves. And as we do, we learn about our sovereignty. And on this journey, the energies that are going on around our planet all the time, we're living in these fields of energy, right? And on one level, we're living in an electromagnetic field, the ionosphere. But we are also living in a multidimensional reality where we are being affected by different energies. And as you come back home, as you bring your awareness more and more back home into your sovereignty, you grow in understanding, you grow in your inner standing, in your power. This is what coming back home is all about. We do want to sit. As we get stronger, we can also hold more space, both for others, but also for ourselves. So we can learn how to hold space for our trauma. So when you're sitting in your meditation, or when I've been sitting in my meditation, the stronger I get, the more space I can hold for the wounded child that's making itself known every now and then. I can hold space for any kind of triggers that are going on inside. Or I can start backing up a little bit. Like, this is another thought, right? When we are learning how to be honest with ourselves, see ourselves basically in a God light. You can also start zooming out a little bit and look at what are my overall patterns that I live by. What patterns are beneficial for my life and what may not be so beneficial? What patterns can I develop or practice to gain power in my life, to gain strength? And if I can get that kind of perspective, my healing journey gets a lot stronger. And of course, it's really good to take notes on this part of the journey, because with notes, you can start to read back. You can start to look at, oh yeah, this is very true. Oh, these insights are very true. Now I can use these insights to grow as a human. And as we start to grow, we grow out of our lower frequency behaviors and feelings, right? The heaviness, the darkness, the sadness, the negativity, that so many, like I was very caught up in it for a long time. And I believe that many of us are. And until we can see that, oh goodness, I am responsible for what's inside of me. I have the freedom of choice to see what frequency am I going to entertain in my body. Am I going to sit in this traumatized dark energy of negativity and anger? Or am I going to learn how to see things from a new light and grow? Right? As we start to continue this growth process, we gain new insights and we get stronger. And then we can even, as we create more space, we can become more present to ourselves. Bringing presence and awareness into ourselves also gives us that space to become the watcher, to become the observer of ourselves. And as we keep going in that direction, we become more roomy inside. There's more room for us to grow. There's more room for us to live. And as the perspective starts to change, maybe we go from that. We have a modern form of slavery with the 9 to 5, the 8 to 5 jobs, the ask your boss if you can take vacation. Oh my God, I get weekends off. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed. And of course, every now and then we want to live in that space too, right? But when we are all completely indoctrinated in that and we call it freedom, but it's only freedom as long as we follow the rules that are dictated by people that we didn't really, truly give the power to. And we can start to see that the system is really not that much for your individual, your internal freedom. The system is more for keeping itself in motion, keeping itself going, being a self-fulfilling machinery. And we are but cogs in that wheel. And of course, this message isn't new, right? We've been talking about this for 50 years at least, how we are just cogs in the machinery. But it's coming back again, right? And it's become more and more apparent that as we have to apply for permission for more and more things, we realize we've lost a lot of freedoms. And coming back home to your inner nature, spending more time in nature, helps to strengthen us. And we find our peace, we find our love. But in that sense, we kind of have to become light warriors and light workers, but especially light warriors. And it's not about being a warrior all the time, not about being Don Quixote fighting the windmills, right? But it is about seeing things for how they are. And again, the full moon is helping us with that. It's shedding light on things in the dark. Look at how much light the full moon sheds on our planet even when it is dark. And how much more we can see in the dark. So we can use the energy of this full moon to see both situations in the world and what's going on within us, to grow in strength and understanding. The frequencies right now are very supportive, both of inner growth, and if you have a new project going on, go for it. Keep going in that direction. We are in a very fertile time of the year, the soil right now for sowing seeds. It's very, very appropriate. It's very appropriate for you to sit with your ideas or your thoughts of new projects, new ideas, new creative ventures. And if you feel called to take action on it, do so. And if you feel like I need to sit with it some more, you do so. But this is a great time to do that. Oh. So as we see what happens too, one more thing that happens here on our healing journey, when we start to see into ourselves and we start to help to remove some blockages, we also start to see that, or no, we don't see it, we feel it. The chakras are aligning. The chakra system in your body begins to spin faster. So the blockages are being removed. Yes, for new projects. That's great, Shauna. So the blockages are being removed in your system from the root chakra and up. And that can include that you feel like activated. You can feel sexually activated, love activated. You can feel activated in any way you feel, but we can use that energy to get stronger. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time. And please, if you can, see through the messaging of the news media. See through the messaging of the matrix. We are a truly sovereign being. You are truly a sovereign being. And if you can approach the world from that space, your life will look and feel extremely different. And at first it will only feel different, but over time it'll look different too. Because how you feel about things is slowly going to reverberate through your life. So, beloved, if you have any thoughts or questions on this, feel free to write. You should also know that you can always write to me throughout the week. At the moment, I've been very busy with my other kinds of activities, so haven't been able to do any videos for a little bit, but they're gonna come back up. Maybe this week, and if not else, next week. So let's go into this healing session. I would like to suggest that you open your heart a bit. Take a few deep breaths into your system. And drop your mind into your heart. Feel into your heart. Last week was Thanksgiving. And as we come into the spirit, the energy of giving thanks for being alive, for being in this body, in this frequency of life, where the cells in your body are dividing, your heart is beating, your lungs are still working, everything is working. Just by being alive, we can express gratitude. So drop your mind into your heart. Find that gratitude. Find it for your loved ones. Find it for yourself. Bring your present moment awareness. Release the outside world. Whatever may be going on outside, release it. Come back home for a few moments. And if there's anything in particular that you feel you would like to release, envision that there is a big fire of spiritual energy right in front of you. And envision that you release your worries, your concerns, your problems to that fire. If you feel like going astral projection travel to the moon, see what happens. See what happens. And thirdly, take in that energy, feel that beaming, radiating energy, the light. So we're expanding in our energy field. We're expanding in our energy body. With your permission, we'll be working on your energy field. We call on the winds of the south, represented by the serpent, to hold sacred space for us and to activate the deepest level of healing from the root chakra and up. We call on the winds of the east, the condor, the eagle, and the dragon. We ask that they hold sacred space for us and that they guide us into the realm of the unseen. We call on the winds of the north, represented by the raven. The raven is the sacred sage of our world. And we ask that the raven holds sacred space for us and activate the deepest level of knowing in every part of our DNA, every part of our energy field, our physical body, and our emotional body. We have the winds of the west, represented by the jaguar. We invite the jaguar to hold sacred space for us and to lend us her courage into our hearts. So we may have the courage to sit in that deep knowing, to sit with the unknown and the unseen and allow healing of it all. We call on Earth Mother, Pachamama, and Father Sky to hold us in their loving embrace, to remind us of the processes of life, and that just like the bacteria and the cells in your body are all part of the process of holding and keeping you alive, we as humans are part of the processes of life on this planet. Then we have Saint Michael with the sword of light, sword of truth. We're asking that Saint Michael help cut any cords that can be cut with that sword of truth and help us to see the truth with the sword of light. When it's for the good, highest good of all involved. We have Stangl the dragon and Maya the wolf and Bayo the bear, our power animals that are guarding our sacred space and facilitating the healing. We have Sam and his brothers, our power spirit guides, that are also guarding our sacred space and guiding us and facilitating the healing. We have the tribe of kings and queens of old. And we have Ombut and her loving energy. We're the ancestors, the friends and the family on the other side of the veil, keeping a watching eye over us, and we're so grateful. Life force energy itself, like a beam of light deep within ourselves. And our Hindu guru lineage, Paramahansa Yogananda Sri Yuktasvargiri Mahavatar Babaji Lahiri Mahasaya Teo Waikateo. And the Norse contingency, the gods of Old Norse, which is Odin and Freya and Thor and Stafnir and Rafnir. No. Hiya. Deo hokutaya. Being called home. You're being called home to yourself. Activating in the sacral chakra, in the root chakra. Refreshing, recharging every cell in your body. Refreshing, recharging every cell in your body. Refreshing, recharging, renewing every cell in your body. Why? The neural netways in your body, the neural network, that the nerves work better in your system. Upgrades. Gaya kateo waeda. Gaya ugodaya. Maya ugodaya. Dai ugogo. Ya. Ma. With that, we give great thanks to the winds of the south, the winds of the east, the winds of the north, and the winds of the west. To Earth Mother, Pachamama, and Father Sky. We give great thanks to Saint Michael with the sword of light, sword of truth. To Stangle the dragon, and Maya the wolf, and Baal the bear. Ahowakate. Sam and his brothers. Yehi ogogodaya. Maya. We give great thanks to the tribe of kings and queens of old. Great thanks to Mbute and her loving energy, to the ancestors and the friends and the family on the other side, to Life Force Energy, to Paramahansa Yogananda, Sri Yuktesvargiri, Lahiri Mahasaya, and Mahavatar Babaji, Tawagati, and to Odin and Freya and Thor. and Staffner and Raffner. Mo'ogu taiya, taiyo, 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 taiyo. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Many blessings, much love. See you again next week. Maho and namaste.